Good afternoon and welcome to the Kerry Garden Show. Alan Finn here with you again from the beautifully new part of Boyles in Killorglin. And boy, am I happy about the topic we're going to be talking about today. Because, of course, everyone, we all have our lovely, beautiful garden. We've gone through a lot of stuff here on the show in regards to looking after your garden, getting it up nice. And your outside area is very, very important because you want to sit back and you want to enjoy it. One of the ways during the summer we'd like to enjoy it is sitting out having a barbecue. So I'm joined today on the show by Conor here from Boyles of Killorglin. Conor, you're welcome to the show.
Thanks very much, Alan. Thank you.
And Conor is going to be telling us all about the different types of barbecuing and everything like that. I didn't have breakfast this morning, Conor. I could be in trouble here. I could get really hungry during this show.
We have a few steaks out the back there. We'll get them going.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I love examples. So listen, it has become a huge part of outdoor living here in Ireland. Now, we've probably recorded this on the worst, cloudiest, wettest day that we possibly could. But there's plenty of the summer left. We're here in just the start of July. There's at least another good couple of months and the weather will change. So a lot of people will be looking at possibly replacing a barbecue or buying a barbecue for the first time. What are the sort of tips you'd think people should know starting off when thinking about getting a barbecue?
Well, I suppose the first thing is to just talk to someone who knows. There's loads of people who know a lot about it. There's a lot of information online about it, loads of stuff on Weber.com, Outback.com, Sahara.com, all of these fantastic brands, loads of different information online about all of them. And you can really educate yourself on a lot of different things on it. The big choice, okay, there are, as you mentioned, there's lots of different brands and that's great. But the big choice really is kind of gas or charcoal. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So we've gas here first.
Yeah.
It's powered by patio gas, which is this grey drum here. So basically you just pop on your regulator onto the gas drum here. And then after that, you can just turn your knob to one side, press the igniter button, and on it'll go.
Okay.
After that,
all right,
turn the other two knobs to the side and they'll light off the other one.
Okay, right. So you don't keep repeating it for
no, you don't
normally
have to.
It's just,
the power of one will set off the others. And
okay,
it'll all light then. You'll actually be able to visibly see it and feel the heat off it.
Yeah.
So it's good that way. And then when you actually get going, then you have lots of different options. In this particular one, you have a grate here that comes out and you can put in lots of different things. Here, I have a frying pan.
Now this looks fantastic because a lot of people like doing vegetables and things like that and frying stuff up on a barbecue is one thing I think a lot of people think you can't do because of all the holes. But this is a lovely little attachment here.
Absolutely. You can do eggs, you can do vegetables, anything. So if I'm doing a steak, I'll have the steak on one side, I'll have the vegetables in here cooking away, and then you can put them all together at the very end.
Oh, stop. As I said, I'm getting hungry already.
Yeah.
But so with a lot of these things, O'Connor, there's three different areas here now. We have, as I said, you put on the 3 burners, there's 4, there's 2, there's all that sort of stuff. But realistically, the first thing you need to do really is kind of check on getting things up to temperature.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of advertising out there from the Food Authority about 75. Terrible singing, apologies. But it's all about kind of getting things up to the right temperature as well too. So what's the kind of ideal temperature you need to kind of get up to before you start?
So I suppose the best thing you can do really is keep the lid down at all times if you can, because if you take off the lid, you'll lose a third of the heat straight away.
A third of the heat,
so
right, okay.
Keeping the lid down is the best thing you can do, and it's a common myth that you should cook with the lid open.
Lid open, yeah.
So keeping the lid down, the absolute best thing you can do with the barbecue.
Yeah.
Then the next tip I could give you is getting an instant read thermometer. So if you're doing chicken, beef, something like that, it's 75 staying alive.
Yeah.
That's the saying.
Yeah, and that's because it kills all the bacteria. That's basically what it is, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you get your barbecue up to 200 degrees, you're also burning a load of the bacteria off the actual grill itself.
Okay.
So it's you just need to get the barbecue hot, put your meat on, and then when you think the meat is done, stick a little instant read thermometer into it, and 75 staying alive for chicken and beef.
Yeah.
If it's from the sea, 63.
Okay, from the sea. Why does everything have to rhyme? That's brilliant, but it's good.
Easy
It's
to
good.
remember.
It's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Yes. So from the sea, 63. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've turned it on, right? We're getting it up to heat at 200 degrees. Now, as you said, there's little inserts and stuff we can do. So it's the kind of benefit with gas. It's kind of fairly instant. It's fairly quick, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you decide 5 minutes beforehand, I want a barbecue.
Yeah.
Out you go, turn it on. It'll take 5-10 minutes to heat up, and you're good to go.
And with the Irish weather, Conor, that's a good benefit
That's it.
because we could get 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah. Do it quick because the rain might come before you know it. So
there's a break in the clouds, lads. Let's go.
Let's get out there. So no, the gas is fantastic that way. You'll have it up and running in 10 minutes. Cook your food, and then if it starts raining, bring it inside and eat it. You'll be fine. An Irish barbecue.
That's it. Yeah. So what you're talking about was there about the lid, and I guess the myth is like I spent some time over in Australia and South Africa, and there is a lot of you see it on the TV as well too, and over in Americans they all love the flame grill. It's the flame coming up. Like realistically, you're kind of feeding the fire by lifting it up, because as well as losing the heat, there's more oxygen kind of getting in, and you can actually burn stuff pretty easy that way, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So if you were leaving the lid open and there was a lot of flames coming up or something like that, you're only cooking the outside of your meat.
Okay.
You want to cook the inside, because obviously food poisoning, things like that, on the inside of the meat. That's why I'm saying about the instant read thermometer.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Get it into the center of the meat and you'll be able to tell exactly then.
Yeah.
But if you have the lid down, the heat should be circulating all around, getting through the meat and not just on the outside of it.
Because we've all been to those barbecues, Conor, I know, where it's like on the outside of the burger is charred and you're just biting into it and then it looks a little bit pink and red in the middle. But, you know, I'm not going to say it's at my barbecue, but it's always something to look after. Now, maintenance-wise, Conor, what are the best tips to look after your barbecue? Because I think that's the big problem I have. I cook, I use it a couple of times, I'm sitting back, I'm full, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to bother cleaning it. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow it's raining. So, but what are the kind of best things to keep your barbecue in your gas barbecue in good condition?
I suppose what I do myself is if I cook a barbecue and I'm sitting down to eat it, I leave it on and it burns off a lot of the fat, a lot of the juices come off the grill itself. And that gets rid of loads of the bacteria, loads of the dirt.
Yeah.
So then after that, if it's really...
How long would you be talking?
Maybe 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
just to get that real grime off the grill.
Yeah.
But then after that, if you're finding that it's really sticking, you can let it cool down. You can get grate cleaner and a brush, but do it when it's cool, and you can just brush over and back, and it'll all come straight off. The grate cleaner is fantastic, really good. Yeah. So that's probably the best thing you can do. And then, as regards care for the outside of it, then you can leave them out all summer, but if it's raining like it does here a good bit, put a cover on it. That's the best thing you can do. A cover is essential to the barbecue. And then if you can in the winter, bring it in, put it in the shed, put the cover over it, because it'll take a good battering outside.
Yeah, again, I've been one of those people, because I love my barbecue and I've done that, but one of the ones that I left it out too much over the winter, and it gets rusted and stuff like that. Because they're very solid. They're made of a good material, Conor, aren't they? They're
Absolutely,
made of fairly strong.
So the grill is enamel coated, which is really good, but the main tip I give you on the grill is don't put it in the dishwasher. You'll ruin the enamel. Okay. So just water is fine, but not dishwasher. Okay. All right. So then and then use grate cleaner, brushes, things like that. As regards the rest of the material, the lid on this particular one is enamel as well, which is fantastic, and then the rest of it is stainless steel. Okay. So you can get stainless steel cleaner if you find that things are getting.
And those barbecue covers as well too are quite handy. And there's, as I said, there's a great range here in Boyles, here in this fantastic new area. But there's in a lot of garden centres. You'll see them, the green kind of the tarpaulins and all that sort of stuff to kind of cover it. But there's lots of different options as well, just with this particular one, because people kind of think, what can I cook? Could I cook pizza on a gas barbecue like this?
Absolutely. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Sure, I knew you were coming with that now. Yeah.
So this is pizza stone. I have this one myself, so it'll cook a pizza in just a few minutes. It's fantastic. So what you do is you close the lid. There's no pizza in it at the moment now. Close the lid, let the pizza stone heat up. So if the thermometer on your barbecue says 150 degrees, your pizza stone is actually burning at 250 degrees. Oh, it'll be 100 degrees hotter.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So that's important to keep in mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's good because you're getting that crispiness onto the bottom of the base of the pizza, which is really, really nice. So then once the pizza stone's nice and hot, after 5 or 10 minutes of heating it up, you'll see it on the thermometer here anyway. Lift it up, put on. If it's a Goodfellas pizza, if it's a homemade pizza, if you've made the dough yourself, it doesn't matter. Put it on the pizza stone. Close down the lid. The best thing you can do is keep an eye on it, because they're really easy to burn. And that's the one thing, that you need to be aware of, is that it does actually cook very, very quickly. Absolutely, yeah. Like 30 seconds too much could be the difference. So just keep an eye on it. And I know I said earlier, don't be opening the lid, but with a pizza, maybe you should, because you
Okay.
don't want to burn it. It burns really easy, but they taste beautiful. Really, really nice.
Right.
Really good.
Great.
Yeah.
So that's it, and of course it's very important to get the right type of patio gas as well too. And again, they're the grey cylinders. There's probably a few of the old ones they might have been using, like the gas burners, yellow, but most now for safety reasons, it's all this not kerosene, it's the propane.
Propane, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So if you went for a butane one and you chose to change your regulator on your barbecue, you would instantly lose the warranty on the barbecue, which is really important because some of these have 10-year warranties on them.
Oh, wow, okay.
So don't change the regulator would be my first tip. And the second tip why you shouldn't use yellow is because the propane burns hotter in the barbecue.
Oh.
The propane patio gas will get the maximum efficiency out of your barbecue.
Okay.
If you change to a yellow one, you would actually notice the difference. It would take much longer to cook things. It wouldn't be as hot, things like this. It's a no-go, really.
Okay.
Stick to the patio gas.
Stick to patio gas.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Super. Right, well, that's brilliant. There's lots of great information there. We do also have another way of barbecuing, and it is the old school, I'd say the old school way, really. But
Absolutely.
we do have other options here, and that is, of course, cooking with charcoal. And a lot of the purists, Conor, they would be all about the charcoal, wouldn't they?
Yeah. The barbecue gurus would say this is the only way to barbecue, but so it's kind of a personal preference whether you're going gas or charcoal. Charcoal takes a little bit longer to heat up. You kind of need to know maybe half an hour beforehand, I'm going to have a barbecue. With the gas, 5 minutes beforehand, I'm having a barbecue.
Yeah.
So
a bit more planning.
Absolutely, but this thing helps an awful lot. It's called a rapid fire chimney starter.
Okay, well, this sounds good, but I don't want to fire my chimney, but it's just the name. It's just the name.
Just the name, exactly.
We're going to have to call the fire brigade.
So I have a small bag of lighter cubes here.
Okay.
Open up the bag, put down 2 lighter cubes onto the grill, like so. Put that over it, put your charcoal in on top, 20 minutes, your charcoal will be ready.
Okay.
It'll nearly half the time of the charcoal if you were to try and light it normally.
Right.
But this thing keeps all the heat in, it's fantastic. If you fill one of these up to the top, you know that the barbecue will burn at 250 degrees.
Oh, wow, okay, so it's even up to the top, you know by the measurement you're putting in.
Absolutely, if you go 1 thumb down, it'll burn at 200 degrees.
Okay.
And if you go, there's a little dots inside it. If you go up to the first dot, that'll be 150 degrees.
Oh, okay.
So
wow, that's a
good way to remember
of remembering it.
Absolutely.
Now I'm going to throw a little thing at you. What if I use the old zip fire lighters from the fire?
Probably not the best idea. I'd recommend food safe ones if possible.
Yeah.
Like these ones.
And that's exactly what I was kind of getting at, because I know that myself. But using zip fire lighters, they're not properly made for food. They're made to light fire. So there are different kind of things involved in that, in making it. So
I don't know, but possibly chemicals, things like that. I know for sure these ones are safe.
Yeah.
So make sure they're food safe ones. And then with this thing, you'll be flying. Yeah. Once the charcoal is red hot, you'll know after 20 minutes anyway. You can lift this off, put it to one side.
And that's when it dissipates down to the bottom of the...
Lift off your cooking grate and tip in your charcoal onto the charcoal grate.
Okay.
All right. Then you put the cooking grate back on, and on go the burgers, the sausages, the steaks, whatever you want.
Excellent.
Even vegetables in your frying pan or your pizza.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Right. Now there is of course different techniques as well too. We're not gonna bore the listeners with too much, but I know about where you kind of have the charcoal only kind of one half of the actual the base of the grate, and that's for kind of slow cooked meats, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So you've indirect cooking and direct cooking.
That's it.
The 2 types of cooking. So if you were to put the charcoal just along each side and put your meat in the middle, not directly over the charcoal, it would indirectly cook, and it would cook the whole way through. But that would be for a big joint of meat or a full chicken or something like that.
Okay.
If you're just doing burgers, you're doing sausages, things that cook quickly, they say under half an hour cooking. Cook it directly and it'll cook through anyways because they're smaller items. If you're cooking a big joint of meat, you need to use indirect cooking. So put the charcoal along either side. Don't have the meat directly over the charcoal, just have it there and it'll cook the whole way through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what are the thoughts on things like lighter fluid? There is the barbecue lighter fluid. I see some stuff there in the background. Yeah. What is that used for? Is that an extra accelerant if you're using a different briquettes, or what is it? Charcoal?
It is, but personally, if you're using this rapid fire chimney starter anyway, and you're using lighter cubes, you probably don't need it. Okay. What some people would do is they might spray it over their either lumpwood or briquettes, the 2 types of charcoal, and then they might light that and it will light. It can be quite dangerous. This is a much safer way of doing it.
Yeah, and look, we'd always go on the side of safety. So talk to us about the 2 types. You have them down here. We'll just pull them up here. Now, first of all, we got some briquettes. And again, they're not Boardnamona. They're not the ones you're going to find in the shop.
Yeah.
And then we've got your premium lumpwood charcoal. So again, is this down to preference, or is there a different taste, or what would the differences be?
Yeah, the way I described it is it's like a petrol and a diesel car.
Okay.
They'll both do the same thing, but it's just a personal preference.
Okay, I like that. That's good.
All right. So the lumpwood will burn for an hour and a half. Some people would claim that you get a more woody flavour off it because it has that lumpwood. Mm-hmm. These briquettes then, what they actually are is that lumpwood compacted down into briquette sizes.
Okay.
So it's kind of the same thing, but these briquettes will burn for 3 hours.
Okay.
So if you were doing maybe a joint of meat, something like that,
you'd need to use the charcoal briquettes. Yeah.
And because if you use the lumpwood, you won't get that much out of it. You get an hour and a half out of it. Even if you had a big crowd for burgers and sausages, maybe the briquettes is a better way to go. But really, it's just a personal preference.
Yeah, and I think that's it, because you just mentioned a good thing. Like, it's a great barbecue outdoors at home. It's a great way to get people together. It's a great way to have family around, to entertain and to be outside and enjoy the benefits of your garden. You've got as I said, your beautiful work and hard work a lot of our listeners would have put into their gardens. And then just to be able to kind of sit out and kind of, enjoy it with all that, it's just be brilliant, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
Like you, is that what you do yourself, Conor?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. If you have a crowd around, a barbecue's on. That's it.
Yeah, excellent. Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks, Conor, for giving us your expertise there. Of course, as I said, the main thing you said at the start of the show was to talk to someone who is an expert on it, who knows a little bit. Get your decision on whether you want the quick thinking, all right, I'm not going to be that prepared, let's just get a gas barbecue, or whether you'll plan a whole day ahead and just go, listen, let's go with the charcoal.
Absolutely, yeah. Or if you want to, we do have a hybrid model here, which is gas and charcoal. Now that's another day's work.
Oh,
we
lads,
won't get into that
Jesus.
today. But if you want to call in and have a look at the hybrid, I'll go through it with you. So that's another option.
And we won't even talk about the Kamado or anything like that. There's lots of different options.
We've all the options here.
And pizza oven as well, I see here in the corner.
Absolutely.
So listen, do make sure you come into Boyles of Killorglin. Conor will be here to have a little chat. And of course, a lot of the garden centres that have some of these things are always all over the county as well too. So hopefully we have given you some inspiration for some summer parties. All we need then, Conor, is the weather.
Absolutely.
Listen, that's it from all of us here at Boyles of Killorglin. Until next week, and we'll be talking more gardening with Miguel. We'll talk to you then. Happy gardening.